After my surgery, my sister told me to man up and watch her kids while she went on a healing trip to Sedona. I didn't argue. I just drove the kids somewhere she'd never expect. She lost her flight and her whole victim act in one day. Hey, Reddit. Been reading here for years, but never thought I'd post. Let's just say this past Thanksgiving finally pushed me to my limit with my family. And for once, I didn't back down. I'm not here to rant, just to share what happens when the responsible one finally says no. So I, Peggy R. Cook, 34, female, work as a firefighter. Last week, I caught a piece of metal to the abdomen during a rescue call. Just bad timing and sharp debris. Ended up needing surgery and stitches, plus a strict order to take it easy for a while. I was 5 days into recovery from surgery and starting to understand why people go insane during medical leave. My living room looked like a hostage negotiation between boredom and pain meds. Half-empty water bottles, heating pad, TV remote glued to my hand. The doctor told me, no lifting, no heavy movement, no stress. I'd been following that order religiously until my sister, Veronica, 36, female, called. Her name popped up on my phone with a glittery contact photo she'd taken at some overpriced cafe. I knew before I answered it wouldn't be good. Veronica never calls to chat. I hit speaker. Hey. She didn't even say hi. So, I'm going to Sedona next week, wellness retreat. You'll watch the kids. I blinked. What? You're not doing anything anyway, she said, like she was reminding me of my schedule. It's a self-care retreat, Peggy. I need this for my mental health. You, of all people, should understand healing. Veronica, I literally just had surgery. I'm not supposed to lift groceries, let alone your 3 kids. She laughed, this sharp little sound that always makes me picture her smirking. They're not bricks, Peggy. Just make them chicken nuggets or whatever. It's only for 9 days, maybe 10. 9, maybe 10. She said it like it was a weekend favor. I rubbed my eyes. No, I can't. I've got follow-up appointments and... She cut me off. Come on, you always act so dramatic about everything. You're a firefighter, not a glass doll. You're fine. The way she said firefighter like it was an argument ender made my jaw tighten. Yeah, I'm a firefighter. Doesn't mean I can defy medical science. Peggy, she sighed, like I was the problem. This retreat is for emotional recovery. You know what I've been through. I deserve peace for once in my life. There it was. The golden phrase. I deserve peace. The same line she's been pulling out since her divorce whenever she wants someone else to do something for her. I said nothing. Just listened to her explain the itinerary. Yoga, meditation, group release exercises. I wasn't sure what that meant, but I bet it involved crying into a crystal. I'll drop the kids off Monday morning, she finished. Their lunches are easy. You'll be fine. I'm not doing that, I said flatly. She giggled like I'd told a joke. Oh, stop. You always say that, and you always come through. Love you, big sis. Click. The call ended before I could even tell her where she could stick her retreat. I stared at the ceiling. The doc said no stress. I wondered if sibling-induced rage counted. 2 minutes later, my phone dinged. Group chat. Mom, Dad, me, Veronica. I already knew what this was. Mom sent, first, your sister needs support right now. Don't be difficult. Then Dad continued, she's been through enough. You can manage the kids for a week. Mom again, it's called compassion, Peggy. Compassion. That's what they call it when I pay Veronica's bills, fix her car, and get called ungrateful for saying no. Before I could respond, another text popped up from Zach, my younger brother. You good? She's trying to dump them again, huh? Yeah, I replied. Don't let her. She'll never stop if you do. Zach's the quiet one. Works warehouse shifts, stays out of drama. If even he's texting me like that, I know this has gone too far. I tossed the phone onto the coffee table and let my head fall back. The pain meds made everything buzz slightly, but not enough to dull the frustration crawling up my spine. It wasn't about watching the kids. I love those kids. It was the assumption, the automatic expectation that I'd do it because I always do. My phone buzzed again, another text from Mom. You're stronger than her, Peggy. She's fragile. Be patient. I wanted to throw the phone, but I wasn't supposed to strain my abs. Instead, I typed back, I'm recovering, not available. 3 dots appeared, then disappeared, then appeared again. We'll talk later, she wrote, which always means you'll cave later. I turned off the screen and stared at the quiet room. The walls felt tighter than they did a week ago. For years, I thought helping Veronica was just part of being the responsible one. But sitting there with stitches in my stomach and family treating me like a free daycare, I realized something I probably should have figured out years ago. They don't see me as family. They see me as the backup plan. I shifted, wincing at the pull of the incision, and looked around the apartment. No sound but the hum of the fridge. No fire alarms, no radio calls, no screaming kids, just stillness. And I liked it. For once, I wasn't anxious about their reactions. I wasn't rehearsing excuses or softening my tone. I just felt done. This all started when Veronica's marriage blew up. I still remember that call. She showed up at my place with the kids, a trash bag of clothes, and a bruise under her left eye. She swore was from bumping into a cabinet. The cabinet was a big jerk called Travis, but I didn't ask questions. I just pulled out the couch and told her they could stay. Travis looked like the picture of success. Clean haircut, decent job, always over-smiling for pictures. But the guy had rot behind his teeth. He'd throw plates when dinner wasn't warm enough. Once he punched a hole in the wall because their toddler spilled juice on his work papers. Veronica used to whisper on the phone so he wouldn't hear her. I heard him yelling once, loud enough that the kids cried in the background. He'd control everything, her money, her phone, what she wore, made her check in every hour so he wouldn't worry. If she laughed too loud at a family barbecue, he'd grip her wrist under the table hard enough to leave marks. I once tried to punch the crap out of him, but Veronica wouldn't let me. The last straw came when he hit their oldest. A slap, but hard enough to leave a handprint. She grabbed the kids and ran that night. I picked her up from a gas station parking lot at midnight. She was shaking so bad she couldn't get the seatbelt on. Veronica tried filing a report, but Travis vanished. He drained their joint account, took off overseas with some woman he'd been cheating with, and blocked every number. No child support, no contact, no closure, just gone. At first, I didn't mind helping. I mean, she was my sister. She was wrecked, crying over bills, panic attacks in grocery store aisles, trying to figure out how to raise 3 kids alone. I took care of what I could, paid her rent once, then twice, fixed her busted car, bought the oldest a bike. I worked extra shifts and told myself that's what big sisters are supposed to do. It felt good at first, being useful, stepping in when everyone else froze. But somewhere between helping and saving, she stopped trying to stand on her own. It started small. Hey, can you pay this until my check clears? Then, the school needs a contact number. Can I just put yours? Then, my credit's weird. Can you co-sign this plan? And every time our parents had the same line. She's been through so much. Peggy, you're strong. You can handle it. Yeah, I can handle it. That's not the point. The point is, I shouldn't have to. I remember one week when I was on 48-hour rotation. I get a call from the daycare. Apparently, my son has a fever. I don't have a son. Turns out Veronica listed me as the mother because she didn't want to deal with the paperwork. I had to leave the station, pick up her kid, and sit in the parking lot with him eating applesauce while calling her 17 times. She answered 2 hours later like nothing happened. Oh, sorry, my phone died. I told her she couldn't do that again. She said, relax, you love those kids, you're such a good aunt. Translation, shut up and keep being useful. Zach warned me years ago. He said, she's using you, Peg. I know she's had it rough, but she's milking it now. I brushed him off, told him he was being too harsh. He stopped arguing after a while. He saw I wasn't ready to hear it. She posted a story the next day showing off the stroller, captioned, feeling blessed thanks to the best sister ever. People commented heart emojis. I closed the app and went for a run until my legs burned. Even when I tried setting limits, my parents would twist it. Mom once said, you wouldn't be so uptight if you had kids. You just don't get it. Yeah, maybe I don't get what it's like to keep using people who keep saying yes. What really stung wasn't the money. It was the total lack of respect. I'd come off 12-hour shifts covered in smoke and sweat, and she'd be on the phone complaining about how tired she was. Mom would call after and say, you should check on your sister more. She's fragile. Fragile, my ass. Fragile people don't manipulate entire family group chats to get babysitting covered. Fragile people don't buy concert tickets when they owe you rent. It all hit me one night when I found a daycare email thanking me for enrolling my children. My name, my address, my emergency contact information. I stared at the screen and thought, I didn't sign up for this. That's when I realized Veronica doesn't see me as her sister anymore. She sees me as her safety net, her backup plan, her human insurance policy. Dad's voice the first time I pushed back still rings. You're lucky to have steady work, Peggy. Family helps family. Yeah, I told him, but help doesn't mean being used. He said, don't talk to your father like that. That's their system. Guilt first, logic never. When Veronica finally said she was going on that Sedona healing retreat, something in me snapped. I wasn't angry, just awake. For the first time, I saw it clear. Every favor, every dollar, every late-night emergency was training her to believe I'd always say yes. Not anymore. I closed the laptop that night, stared at my own reflection in the black screen, and said it out loud. No more. This time I meant it. A week went by without a single word from Veronica. It was quiet. Too quiet. No, can you help me with this? Or just one small favor. I thought maybe she'd finally gotten the message. Then my phone lit up on a Thursday afternoon from Veronica. Hey, I'm heading to the airport. Please pick up the kids from school. Thanks. Not a question, not even a hello. I stared at the text, reread it 3 times. My stomach burned. She wasn't asking. She'd already left. I called her, straight to voicemail. Then again. Finally, she picked up, breathless. Peggy, hey, I'm on my way to the airport and can't talk long. Remember to grab the kids. Their backpacks are in their cubbies. I left snacks. Hold up, I said, keeping my voice steady. You're where? On the way to the airport. I told you, Sedona, the retreat starts tomorrow morning. I told you last week I can't watch them. Oh my God, don't start, she groaned. They love staying with you. You're so good with them. It'll be fine. I'm not cleared to lift, Veronica. I'm still healing. They can climb into their own seats. You're being dramatic again. Veronica! Look, my flight is in an hour and a half. I gotta go. Your Aunt Peggy, hero of the family, love you. The line went dead. I sat there, phone in hand, half waiting for her to say, just kidding. She didn't. She actually left. By 2:45, I was in my truck. Not because I agreed, but because there were 3 kids about to be stranded after school. And I'm not heartless. I drove to the school, stomach tight, stitches pulling every time I turned the wheel. The front desk lady smiled like we'd met before. Oh, hey, Aunt Peggy, right? Yeah, I said flatly. She already put you down for pickup. She slid the clipboard forward and, sure enough, my name. Big, bold letters. No one had even asked me. I signed, took a breath, and waited. When the kids came out, backpacks too big, faces lighting up, it hit me how used to this they were. They didn't even ask where their mom was. Just climbed in like it was routine. Where's Mom going this time? Max, the oldest, asked. Somewhere sunny, I said. She always goes somewhere sunny, he mumbled, looking out the window. That one sentence sealed it. I wasn't angry anymore. I was done. Instead of driving home, I took the turn for the interstate. The youngest fell asleep halfway there. Max noticed the signs first. Aunt Peggy, why are we going toward the airport? Because your mom forgot something, I said. It was rush hour when I pulled into departures. Planes overhead, taxis honking, people running with suitcases. I parked near the curb, killed the engine, and texted her, meet me at departures. Your kids are waiting. No reply. 30 seconds later, my phone started blowing up with messages from Veronica. What are you doing? Where are you? Peggy, answer right now. I answered once. At the airport. Why? You're supposed to take them home. She screeched. My gate's about to close. I kept my voice calm, almost too calm. If you can afford a wellness retreat, you can afford to take your kids with you. Are you insane? I can't do yoga with 3 kids. Guess you'll have to sit this one out. She went silent for a second. Then, Peggy, this is cruel. You don't understand what I've been through. I need this. You've needed something every week for the last 4 years. Her voice cracked. You're seriously going to do this to me? You're heartless. No, I said. I'm just done being your plan B. She started yelling again, saying she'd miss her flight, that I'd ruin everything. I didn't say another word, just hung up. 5 minutes later, I saw her in the crowd, hair wild, dragging 2 suitcases, phone glued to her ear. The look on her face when she spotted the kids could have won an Oscar. Mom, Max shouted, running up to her. She knelt, hugged them, glaring at me over his shoulder. You really did this, she hissed. Yep, I said. You're pathetic. Maybe, but at least I don't abandon kids in a parking lot. She straightened up like she was about to swing. You don't know what I deal with. Then start dealing with it, I said, stepping back. They're your kids, not mine. I walked away before she could start another speech. Her voice followed me down the sidewalk, high-pitched, furious, full of drama. I didn't turn around. I got back to my truck, sat for a second, and watched through the windshield. She was still standing there, arguing into her phone, probably to the airline now, while the kids tugged at her arm. Eventually, she stormed toward the terminal. I waited until they were safely inside before I drove off. By the time I got home, my phone had 37 missed calls, Mom, Dad, and Veronica on repeat. Then the group chat started. How could you humiliate your sister like that? You crossed the line, daughter. I didn't answer. Then Zach texted. Separate thread. Heard you dropped the bomb at the airport. Not a bomb, I replied. Just a wake-up call. About damn time. Proud of you. I dropped the phone on the couch, leaned back, and laughed. For the first time in years, I wasn't angry or tired. I was calm. Veronica missed her flight. I saw it later when she posted some dramatic story, a picture of coffee, and the caption, "Sometimes the universe forces you to rest." Sure, the universe. I stretched slow to keep from pulling my stitches and said it again under my breath. Done. That piece lasted less than 12 hours. By morning, the family group chat had turned into a courtroom. Mom led the prosecution. Do you have any idea what you put your sister through? You've become cold. Firefighters protect people, not tear their family apart. I scrolled through the messages over coffee. Not even mad, just impressed at how dramatic they could be before 8 a.m. They called me heartless, ungrateful, selfish. Dad even threw in, "You think your uniform makes you better than us?" No, Dad, it just makes me follow rules you ignore. I didn't reply. I wasn't giving them fuel. Then Mom left a voicemail. Her voice had that fake cracked tone she uses when she's trying to cry, but can't. Peggy, I raised you to have empathy. Veronica's going through so much. You're punishing her for needing help. You've lost your heart. Yeah, maybe I finally found my spine instead. That night, Zach called. I half expected him to scold me, too. He didn't. Dude, he said right away. I saw the group chat. I'm on your side. You sure? Mom's acting like I dumped Veronica on a mountain. He laughed. She's always been like that. Listen, there's something I should tell you. He sounded awkward, which was rare for Zach. I used to help Veronica, too. I sat up a little. You what? Yeah. Grocery money, gas money, sometimes school fees. Nothing crazy, just little stuff. I didn't tell you because I knew you'd tell me to stop. So why'd you stop? She started pulling the same crap on me she did with you. I frowned. Like what? She signed me up for her internet bill. I didn't even know until I got an email saying my plan was updated. Then she gave my number to the school as a contact. They called me once about parent-teacher meetings. I whistled. Classic Veronica. Yeah, Zach said, exhaling. I told her to cut it out or I was done helping. She flipped out, said I was abandoning her, so I cut her off. That's when she turned all her attention to you. You became the full-time rescue team. I rubbed my temple. So basically, when she burned one bridge, she used me as the replacement. Exactly. That hit harder than I expected. I wasn't just the helpful sister anymore. I was the stand-in spouse, the unpaid babysitter, the walking credit card. She didn't see family. She saw function. Zach must have heard the silence. She's not helpless, Peg. She's just used to people fixing her messes. The second you stop, she'll have to face it. Yeah, I muttered. And the whole family will act like I committed a felony. Then let them, he said. You've carried this long enough. For a second, I didn't say anything. Then I chuckled. You know what, Zach? You're smarter than you look. He laughed. I get that a lot. After we hung up, I sat there thinking about all the times I bailed her out. Every text, every call, every guilt trip. I opened my notes app, scrolled through old bank transfers, and started screenshotting. I wasn't doing it out of anger. I just wanted proof. If the family wanted to act like I was cruel, they'd get receipts. Literally. I pulled open my laptop and started organizing. One folder became 4. 1. Money transfers. 2. Babysitting weekends. 3. Auto charges. 4. School paperwork she signed without consent. Each file filled up faster than I expected. There were years of help. Rent payments, utility bills, messages that started with please and ended with you're heartless. It wasn't just financial, it was psychological. Every be a good sister text, every guilt trip from mom, every you're stronger than her voicemail. It all painted the same picture. I was the reliable one, which meant I had no right to say no. Not anymore. Around midnight, my phone buzzed. Unknown number. I ignored it twice before realizing it was Grandma. "Peggy," she said, voice clear and sharp, even at that hour. "Hey, Grandma, you're up late." "I just got off the phone with your mother," she said. "What the hell is going on?" Of course, Mom ran to her. "Family misunderstanding," I said. "Your mother made it sound like you abandoned orphans at a bus stop." I laughed. "She's half right. I dropped the kids off with their mother at the airport." She sighed. "I can hear how tired you are, girl. Let them throw their tantrums. You did nothing wrong. I'll see all of you on Thanksgiving." That caught me off guard. "You're coming down?" "Wouldn't miss it. Something tells me this year will be enlightening." I grinned. "You have no idea." When I hung up, I felt lighter. For the first time, I wasn't outnumbered. Grandma didn't buy into Veronica's poor me act. Zach was finally standing up. The tide was shifting. I looked at the folder icons glowing on my laptop screen and felt a strange satisfaction. Not revenge, just preparation. They wanted to play family politics. Fine. I'd bring facts, not feelings. I made one last file that night. Thanksgiving. Final report. The plan was simple. Everyone would be there. Veronica, the parents, the cousins, the usual audience. This time, the show wouldn't go her way. I closed the laptop, leaned back in the chair, and stared at the ceiling fan spinning slowly. For once, I wasn't waiting for the next crisis call. I was waiting for Thanksgiving. And for the first time in my life, I actually looked forward to a family gathering. Thanksgiving morning hit cold and gray. My parents' house looked exactly how it always did for holidays. Cleaner than a hospital, candles burning in every room, fake smiles ready at the door. I parked in the driveway, folder on the passenger seat, heart steady. This wasn't going to be a fight. This was going to be a presentation. Inside, the air smelled like cinnamon and guilt. My mom was already in hostess mode, bouncing between the oven and guests. "There she is," she said like she hadn't left a dozen angry voicemails that week. "Peggy, grab a plate and relax. We're just so glad you came." "Yeah," I said, hanging my coat. "Wouldn't miss it." The dining room was packed. Cousins, aunts, uncles, people who only show up for food and gossip. Zach was by the window, already catching my eye with a nod that said, "I've got your back." Then came Veronica. She walked in late, loud, dressed like she was attending a movie premiere instead of dinner. Heels, sparkly earrings, hair blown out. She didn't even look at me, just threw her purse on the couch and hugged Mom like she'd just survived Everest. "Oh my God, I almost made it to Sedona," she announced to the room, laughing. "But the universe clearly wanted me here. Family first, right?" Then she glared at me. A few aunts clapped politely. My jaw tightened. When the food hit the table, she sat across from me, smiling like the past 2 weeks never happened. "Peggy, can you pass the potatoes?" I did, quietly. Then halfway through dinner, when everyone was distracted with pie and small talk, she struck. "So," she said loudly, "funny story. My rent's due tomorrow and my paycheck got delayed again." She laughed like it was cute. "Peggy, you think you can spot me this month? You make more anyway." The table went silent like someone hit pause. Forks stopped. Even the kids shut up. Mom was the first to speak. "Maybe talk about that later, honey." Veronica waved her off. "It's fine. Peggy's always helped. She's my rock." That was it, the trigger. I took a breath, slow and controlled. "You're right, Veronica. I have helped a lot." She smiled, thinking she'd won. "See? That's what family's for." I reached down, pulled the folder from my bag, and placed it on the table. "Actually, let's talk about that." A few cousins leaned back. My mom's face went pale. "Peggy, not at dinner." Zach's voice cut through. "Let her finish." I opened the folder and started sliding papers across the table. Bank transfers, screenshots, texts, rent payments. Every single one labeled and dated. "This," I said calmly, "is what I've paid for you since 2021. Rent, utilities, school fees, groceries, car repairs, thousands of dollars. And this," I tapped a page, "is the daycare form you filled out with my name as the payer without asking." The whispers started immediately. An aunt gasped. One cousin muttered, "Damn." Veronica's face tightened, but she forced a laugh. "Peggy, this is crazy. You're making me look bad." "You don't need my help for that," I said, tone steady. Mom jumped in, voice shaking. "Peggy, enough. This isn't appropriate." I looked at her, calm as ever. No, Mom, this is exactly appropriate. You wanted family together for Thanksgiving. I'm finally giving you something honest to talk about. Zach crossed his arms and nodded. She's right. Veronica's voice got higher. You're humiliating me. I've been through hell. My ex abused me, disappeared, and you're attacking me on a holiday. I'm not attacking you, Veronica. I'm drawing a line. I've spent years cleaning up your messes while everyone here acted like it was normal. No one moved. Even Dad, who usually tried to mediate, stayed quiet. Veronica tried to laugh it off. Everyone helps family. Zach finally spoke. Helping isn't lying, Veronica. You used us. She turned on him fast. Oh, don't act innocent. You're not perfect. Zach shrugged. No, but I stopped letting you walk all over me years ago. The table was dead silent. Mom looked like she might cry, but no one reached for her. I looked around the room at the cousins pretending not to stare, at Dad fiddling with his fork, at the aunts whispering to each other. You all wanted to believe she was fragile, I said. You made it easy for her to keep acting like this. You didn't help her. You crippled her. Veronica slammed her napkin down. You're ruining Thanksgiving. I stood up, folder in hand. No, I'm fixing what's been broken for years. And then the front door creaked open. Is the turkey gone, or can an old lady still get a plate? Every head turned. Grandma stepped inside, clutching her purse and looking 10 years younger than the last time I saw her. Her gray hair was pinned neat, eyes sharp as ever. She scanned the room, the frozen faces, the tension thick enough to chew. Well, she said, setting her purse down, looks like I walked into a funeral. Mom rushed over, trying to fake a smile. Oh, Mom, we didn't think you'd make it. We just, finished dinner. Grandma's gaze flicked to the folder still sitting on the table. And a presentation by the looks of it. No one answered. She looked at me next. Peggy, you look like a woman who just did something that needed doing. I did, I said simply. Veronica huffed, arms crossed. She ambushed me. She waited until Thanksgiving to humiliate me in front of everyone. Grandma raised an eyebrow. Humiliate you? Or tell the truth? Veronica's mouth opened, but no sound came out. Grandma pulled out a chair, sat down slow, and folded her hands on the table. I've been listening from the hallway for 10 minutes, she said. Thin walls, big mouths. Save me the trouble of asking what all the yelling was about. Mom looked like she might faint. Mother, please, this isn't... Quiet, Grandma snapped, and the room obeyed. Even the kids in the living room stopped whispering. She turned to Veronica first. You ought to be ashamed of yourself. Veronica blinked fast. Excuse me? No, you heard me. I raised your mother better than this, and she clearly forgot how to raise you. You've been using that sister of yours like an ATM with a pulse. Veronica's lip trembled, her voice softening to that practiced victim tone. I've been through so much. I know what you've been through, Grandma interrupted, voice sharp as a knife. And it doesn't give you the right to make everyone else pay for it. You want healing? Start with accountability, not retreats and excuses. Veronica's cheeks went red. You don't understand. Oh, I understand perfectly, Grandma said, leaning forward. You lost a husband who didn't deserve you, and instead of standing up, you built your new life on other people's backs. That's not healing. That's manipulation dressed up as struggle. The air went still. Then Grandma turned her gaze on my parents. And as for you two, you should be embarrassed. Dad stiffened. Now hold on. No. She cut him off, voice sharp as thunder. You sit down and listen for once. You've let this nonsense go on for years. You've turned Peggy into the responsible mule of the family. Every time Veronica messed up, you handed her another excuse and another one of Peggy's paychecks. Mom whispered, we just wanted to help. You didn't help. You enabled, Grandma snapped. You taught that girl that consequences are optional, as long as someone else loves her enough to suffer them. You broke both of them, one by spoiling her and one by overloading her. I didn't say a word. I didn't need to. She said everything I'd wanted to for years, only louder and with the authority of someone who'd survived decades of family nonsense. Veronica started crying quietly, tears sliding perfectly down her face. Grandma didn't flinch. You can cry if you want, she said flatly. Tears don't erase debt or decency. The silence that followed was brutal. Veronica sniffled. Dad's jaw clenched, and Mom's eyes darted anywhere but mine. Grandma leaned back. So, here's what's going to happen. If this family wants to stay on my good side, and in my will, you're going to fix this mess. That got everyone's attention. I'm not rewarding selfishness, she continued. My house, my savings, every cent I have, it's going to people who act like adults, not parasites. You either change your behavior or you'll find out how fast I can update a lawyer. Veronica gasped. You're threatening to disown me? I'm promising to hold you accountable, Grandma said. You've been treated like a victim long enough. Time to act like a mother instead of a charity case. Dad cleared his throat. Mom, don't you think that's a bit extreme? She gave him a look that could freeze lava. Extreme is letting your daughter pay your other daughter's rent while you pretend not to notice. He shut up immediately. Zach smirked. Guess we're the new favorites. Grandma actually smiled. For now, don't get cocky. The room stayed quiet again, but this time it wasn't heavy. It was shifting, like the first creak of a door opening after years of being stuck. Grandma stood, gathering her purse. I'll be in touch, she said. And if any of you think I'm bluffing, ask the lawyer who's getting a call first thing Monday. Then she looked at me again. Peggy, you did right. Don't you dare back down now. I won't, I said. Good, she said. Then maybe next Thanksgiving we'll have something worth being thankful for. She left, heels clicking sharp against the tile, leaving the whole house in stunned silence. Zach broke first. Well, he said, that was better than dessert. I couldn't help but laugh. For the first time in years, I actually believed the family might finally face reality. And it all started with one word I'd said weeks ago, done. The next few weeks felt weirdly calm, like the whole world had exhaled. No guilt trips, no surprise phone calls, no emergencies that weren't actually emergencies, just quiet. Mom called once that first week. Her voice was soft, too soft. How are you, sweetheart? You eating? I'm good, I said. Busy. She hesitated. You know your grandmother didn't have to say all that. She's dramatic sometimes. I smirked. She said what everyone else avoided. Silence. Then, we just want things to feel normal again. They are, I said, and I meant it. After that, they stopped calling as much. When they did, it was polite, almost professional. No more guilt trap lines about helping your sister, just weather updates and reminders to take care of yourself. I guess Grandma's warning about the will worked better than therapy ever could. Veronica stayed quiet for a while, too. Her social media went dead. No posts, no selfies, no inspirational quotes about healing. Then, one night, she texted me a photo of a wrinkled piece of paper. It looked like a handwritten budget, scribbled expenses, numbers circled, total at the bottom. Underneath, she wrote, trying. No excuses, no emojis, just that. I stared at it for a long time. I didn't reply right away, but the next morning I texted back, good. Then a week later, Grandma called. She went to the first financial counseling session, she said proudly. I made sure she showed up, told her if she missed it, I'd start mailing her bills directly. I laughed. You're scarier than half the captains at my station. Someone's got to be, she said. You kids turned out strong, but your parents got too soft. Speaking of soft, Dad finally called too. He tried to sound casual. Hey, champ, how's work? Same old, I said. You and Mom doing okay? He paused. Yeah, we didn't handle things right with Veronica, or with you. That was the closest I'd ever heard him come to admitting fault. I didn't rub it in. Appreciate that, I said. We're all learning. He exhaled, relieved, and for once, we talked like two adults, not a referee and his player. Zach started coming by more often after shifts. He brought takeout, helped me clear out the clutter I'd been ignoring. Boxes of toys, old receipts, stuff I'd stored for Veronica. We moved the bunk bed from the spare room into the garage. I listed it online and donated the rest. Damn, Zach said, looking around the apartment after we finished. This place actually looks like a grown woman lives here. Yeah, I said, smiling. Finally does. He laughed. You know, Grandma's basically a legend now. The cousin said she told Aunt Carol she was next in line for a lecture. Good, I said. Let her clean house. The next weekend, the kids came over. This time, planned on my terms. Veronica texted a week in advance asking if Saturday worked. I said yes. When I opened the door, Max ran straight to me. Aunt Peggy, Grandma said Mom's learning how to budget. I grinned. Sounds like she's leveling up. They spent the afternoon building a blanket fort and eating pancakes. Veronica came by later for pickup, hair tied back, sweatshirt instead of a designer outfit, quiet for once. Thanks, she said, eyes low. No problem, I said. She hesitated, then met my eyes. I really am trying. I know, I said. Keep going. That was it. No fake hug, no big speech, just honesty. Simple. After they left, I stood in the doorway a minute, watching them walk down the hall. The apartment was quiet again. Peaceful. No chaos. I started cleaning up the blanket fort, pancake plates, toy cars. The place looked different now, not because I redecorated, but because it actually felt mine. A few nights later, Zach came over again. We sat on the balcony with pizza boxes and laughed about the Thanksgiving event. He said, "You realize Grandma basically dropped the nuclear truth bomb on them, right?" "She's earned it," I said. He nodded. "You know, I think Veronica's actually going to change this time. She doesn't have a choice anymore." "Good," I said. "She's capable. She just needed to hit reality head on. Guess we all did." He left around midnight. I stayed up a little longer, walking through the apartment, turning off lights one by one. Each switch clicked like punctuation on a sentence that finally ended right. No noise, no weight, no unfinished favors hanging over me. I sat down at my kitchen table, same spot where I'd started my evidence folder weeks before. But this time, there was no laptop, no notes, no chaos, just me. I leaned back, looked around at the clean space, the steady quiet, and realized something I hadn't felt in years. I wasn't waiting for the next emergency. I wasn't on standby. I was free.